Hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. I'm sure you can remember exactly where you were on the day 2 airplanes struck the World Trade Center in New York. Certainly I can. I was working for British Airways, and I remember the feeling in the pit of my stomach as events unfolded and it became clear this was no accident. In a matter of hours, we had grounded all our aircraft across the globe, displacing over 1 million of our staff and customers. I learned how quickly you need to make decisions when in the eye of a storm. And at breakneck speed, in the weeks and months that followed, we did just that. We engineered new customer service models, revised protocols for passenger security, and refocused the business. Our survival depended on it. 2 years later, we saw the emergence of a new threat, severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS as it is better known. This depressed air travel again and reminded us of the need for a constant focus on resilience, both financial and operational, and that we must remain agile in how we think and take action. Fast forward, and a new pandemic has hit us, and I find myself working for Allianz. Now, while I have changed roles, these global events, 20 years apart, have much in common. When the storm is raging, we have risen to the challenge. We have driven a step change in our capability, torn up the rulebook of established thinking, and dared to achieve, in days, what would previously have taken years to do. Now, insurance is one of the oldest industries in the world, and predicting, understanding risk and responding to it is what we do. In the 18th century, shipping cargo by sea to far-flung places across the globe was inherently dangerous. Understanding which ships were the least risky was important, and a register was set up at Lloyd's Coffee House. Ships in the best condition were categorised as A1, and so modern insurance was born. Just as 9/11 demanded new risk management measures and improved security, and SARS made us look again at our pandemic responses, insurance has always tried to offer security in an uncertain world and move with the times. And so to 2020. A new global event is creating huge turmoil. While we still have some way to go, and even with a vaccine almost within our grasp, it is estimated that recovery is still a long way off, with air transportation probably taking at least 3 years and the longest to get back to normal, whatever normal may be. Full-fledged lockdowns for more than half of the global population and the resulting GDP impact has hit the world like a meteorite, pushing the global economy into its worst recession since World War II. World debt levels are breaking records, and not in a good way. In the UK, the government borrowed nearly £210 billion in the first 6 months, the highest since records began. And in the US, public debt has exceeded the size of its economy for the first time since World War II. That stands at $27 trillion. Overall, the public debt in developed economies is hitting eye-watering levels, with most experts recommending further borrowing. So, a very sobering picture. I'm pleased to report that the insurance sector can and has responded. Estimates of the impact of this pandemic differ wildly, but Lloyd's of London suggests that global underwriting payouts will amount to $107 billion this year alone. Following the emergence of SARS in 2003, for example, our sector has provided specialist pandemic insurance. The most notable UK adopter being the All England Lawn Tennis Club, organisers of Wimbledon. Over the years, it's estimated that they have paid £25 million in premiums, but this year they will recover around £114 million. That's why we're here, right? To pay claims. And in these unprecedented times, we've also had to think fast and differently and adapt. In the UK, we have looked at our policies to see what we can do to help our customers and business partners. Insurers were quick to make adjustments, enable policy extensions and extend cover to help those building and delivering vital medical equipment, for example. In the pre-COVID world, these sorts of changes would have taken months to model, test, communicate and launch, and were done in days. The UK insurance sector has also set up a COVID-19 support fund, which has raised over £100 million to help charities that support those hardest hit by the crisis. When the pandemic struck, the entire world responded at a speed and scale that we hadn't seen before. In a heartbeat, doctors, shoppers, schools, yoga teachers, and even some very traditional insurance brokers went digital. It was the only way to stay connected. And you know what? Many like it. We may actually have shifted for good some of the deep-rooted paradigms in our society and industry. And contrary to what one might expect, when money may be tighter and borrowing increases, these crises cause insurance to be more valued than ever. In the SARS aftermath, for example, demand for health and care insurance in Asia grew by double digits. And just last month, China and India were reporting higher levels of consumer optimism. Despite challenges with business interruption and travel insurance covers, very well documented in the UK press, recent research in Britain reveals that opinions of our industry have not been significantly dented. Indeed, for some, the crisis has underlined the importance of insurance, with over 3/4 of consumers and nearly 90% of small businesses saying they would feel more vulnerable if they didn't have it. Fundamentally, insurance is here to support people and business, to help them feel safe as they look to the future and be confident as they plan ahead. And as we face into the future, our industry is helping the world build back better. Our UK regulators have heightened their already growing interest in operational resilience. They want to know that we are more than just keeping the lights on, that we are providing confidence and continuity of service for our customers, regardless of who is working where. Our reliance on mobile phone networks, broadband capacity, video meeting apps has all increased and is already leading to the emergence of better and more reliable solutions and networks. And we need to continually check and reinvent our products and services to ensure they remain fit and appropriate as the world's needs change. A pandemic is essentially uninsurable. By definition, it hits everyone at the same time. That's why the insurance industry, aware of the devastating impact of a pandemic following SARS, excluded communicable diseases from most of its standard policies. Yes, societies must boost their economic resilience, but insurance can also play a role by exploring more accessible pandemic cover options where insurance companies and government work together. Very much like the flood remodel we have in the UK, for example. This will lead to better outcomes for customers. Our employees have moved away from cities back to their towns and rural areas. The digital platforms we already had in place meant our employees could work almost as easily at home as in their office. This employee mobility and flexibility now enables better access for a bigger employee base in the future, untapping new talent pools across the globe. And our recent experience also really underlines the advantages of having a globally talented workforce. I know firsthand how important our colleagues in India have been through this crisis, and they will continue to play a pivotal role in supporting Allianz in the UK and many other countries. The global workforce gives us better resilience. Catastrophic risk events occur far more frequently than is commonly assumed. It is a certainty there will be another significant disruption of some sort in my lifetime, even if its precise form and timing are unknown. And sadly, COVID-19 won't be the last event that affects us globally. We know that survival is about having a change mindset. To survive, we must adapt and reimagine what we do and how we do it. And we must remain agile in how we think and take action. We are already thinking about the next likely world event and offering thought leadership to governments on how public and private insurance initiatives could address the cost of a future pandemic, for example. It might seem hard to imagine as we stand here today, but we do have a brighter future ahead, a better future for us as individuals and as an industry. And ultimately, by securing and reimagining the future for our customers, colleagues and partners, we can and will help the world to build back better.